The new big trade deal means big changes for Britain's lucrative financial services industry too. The sector no longer has blanket access to Europe's single market. Instead, it has to rely on Brussels granting approval to maintain its ties with the continent. Emma Reynolds is the Managing Director of Public Affairs Policy and Research at the City UK, an industry body that represents Britain's financial sector. And she joins me now from London. Thank you very much for speaking with us here on Euronews. What changes as of Monday when the City of London opens back up for business?
Well, the City of London, and indeed the rest of the financial services sector, 2 out of 3 of our jobs are actually based outside London. But obviously an important financial centre in London. We lose the right to passporting, but I have to say that our member firms already knew that this was coming, so have already set up subsidiaries in other European financial centres around the EU and have moved assets and staff prior to today.
Now, we heard Theresa May, when this bill was being debated about the Brexit trade deal in the House of Commons, saying to Boris Johnson she was dismayed that there was no other deal for financial services. How much of a disruption is that going to be? And are you hoping the UK government can secure such a deal with the EU in the next few months?
We are very hopeful, and as the Prime Minister Boris Johnson himself has admitted, there's not very much in this deal for financial services, and financial and related professional services are a huge part of the UK economy. We're the biggest exporting industry, the biggest taxpayer, and with the related professional services employ 2.3 million people. We hope that there will be a memorandum of understanding agreed between the UK and the EU. They committed to do so in a joint declaration alongside the deal. And we hope that there'll be a recognition by the EU that the UK still has the same rules and regulations for financial services, and therefore there will be agreements in that area too, so-called equivalence agreements. And we hope, for example, for not only financial services but for other services, there's an agreement around the flow of data, which is absolutely crucial for businesses, not only in the UK but also in the EU, and also customers, of course.
I know you're saying financial jobs aren't just limited to London, but just when we look at the City of London, it is a huge investment portal and it really has a competitive advantage to some degree. But we've seen in Europe, cities like Paris, especially Frankfurt, are chomping at the bit to try and knock London off that top spot. What can London do to protect its competitive edge?
Well, what I would say to EU businesses, but also politicians, is that actually it's in the EU and Europe's interest to have London as a leading global financial centre. And although we have seen jobs move as a result of losing passporting to Paris and Frankfurt and other European financial centres, there is no one European financial centre that is anywhere near as big and as competitive as London right now. And we see our main competitor as New York, and we remain, the UK remains the biggest exporter of financial services ahead of the US and Switzerland. So we think it's in Europe's interest that we continue to have these close ties, and that there hopefully will be better access for financial services businesses based in the UK for EU customers, but also that would be in the interest of EU businesses to have access to our deep and liquid capital markets here in the UK.